Lost thoughts lead you astray. Then I cry, then I feel pain. Why do I suffer so much? I would love to feel your touch. Baby, I don't know where to go. I feel so lost without you. Baby, I don't know where to go. I feel so lost without you. Baby, I don't know where to go. I feel so lost without you. Baby, I don't know where to go. I feel so lost without you. Save me before I pass out. Save me before I pass out. Before I pass out.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. My name's Andy Ragequit, and tonight it's a Friday night. Not one you'd expect from us here at Moose Racing League, but we are absolutely delighted. In our 9th season of racing to bring you. As you can see up in the top corner over that direction, we're going to bring you the F2 Formula 2 Championship. And our first race this evening in our inaugural season at F2 is at the Suzuka Circuit in Japan. Good evening, everybody. I hope you've had such a wonderful week. Welcome to the weekend. We're kicking off Moose Racing League, MRL. We're kicking it off on a Friday night. I don't know about you, but I'm excited about this. I don't know a great deal about Formula 2. Hands up. So I'm looking forward to reading your comments in the chat. We all know that Red Bull are the dominant force right now in F1, and the other teams such as McLaren, Mercedes, and sometimes Ferrari, when they make decent track calls, are also strong teams in that format of racing. But Formula 2, I'm not too sure. So let's have a quick look at the chat. Anybody got any ideas for me around who are the dominant forces perhaps in the Formula 2 arena? Dylan, good evening. Let's go, Bops. D Master OG's in the house. Tolby, you're sexy, brother. You're sexy. Zoika, yes, indeed, it is huge. F2 cars are so different. That is a good call there from Tolby. I'm led to believe that, obviously, with no ERS deployment and DRS not being quite as strong, that we might see some serious battles. I love the Suzuka Circuit. It's one of my all-time favourites. I've never driven an F2 car, but I'm looking forward to tonight to see how these drivers cope with the less power, the less assistance from DRS and ERS going into turn one. Turn one is a high-speed corner, if you ask me. The first corner, as you get round that tight little bend into the right-hander, I'm assuming we might have safety cars turned on tonight. I'm assuming. Understeer Central says, AK, that's not good. I'm assuming that the setups tonight will be attempting to drag some oversteer into it. So we might be a bit front heavy. Zoika says, MP, Rodin Carlin, and ART lead the F2 scene. Right, we're approximately 10 minutes before the start of qualifying. Tonight's format is going to be one-shot quali, so I'm going to do my best to try and jump on board with somebody who I might think might be a little bit pacey. We're going to get to our drivers in a moment. So we're going to do one-shot quali, and then we're going into the feature race. It's going to be 30 laps of action as the lights go out. Let's take a little look at our teams then, shall we? Okay, sorry about the quality of the snip. I've had to improvise ever so slightly at reasonably short notice. So at present in the Virtuosi Invicta cars, we've got Homer and Jay Mawson. We've then got Com and Nate OG in the high-tech. Monster and Vince in the MP, with John Doeswork and AK in the Rodin Carlin car. Nicky G and City of R then take their seats in the Dams vehicles, while the Prima is taken up by Kiss My Axe and Bouncy. Bops and Minico are in VAR, not to be confused with the terrible decision-making implement that we have in football or soccer for you stateside people. And then we've got JBTC and Stig in the ART. One shot will be dope, says Zoika. If top guys slip up, others will have a shot. Absolutely. And with this new format, with the cars, you've not done as much practice in these cars as you have in the F1 cars. There's no secret about that. People are likely to make some mistakes. There are certain areas of this track which will allow for some track limits penalties, probably, throughout the course of this race. And I'll be interested to see who has practiced hard over the course of this week to be ready for tonight. The first Friday night stream that we've had in a league race here at Moose Racing. Jake, just realised that Danny, something is on the load screen. I can't see because there's a heart in the way. Can't see it. Danny somebody is on the load screen. Danny Rick. Danny Rick. That'll be Danny Rick on the load screen. He's in. Danny Rick's been added to the game. That's a dub from EA and Cody's. Not often we can say that now, is it? Okay, right then. Let's take a look, shall we, at our track for this evening then. So, we head to Suzuka. It's the Japanese Grand Prix, F2 Grand Prix. I love Suzuka. It's a lovely looking circuit. I think it flows beautifully. There are some wonderful winding corners, remnants of Silverstone in there and Kota with those left rights through sector 1. So it is 5.8 kilometers, 3.6 miles. We have 18 turns, one DRS zone. DRS won't be as powerful in these cars as we know from previous. Not a great deal of elevation around Suzuka, but a good track nonetheless. Moving back to our driver list then. Looking at the driver list and what you know from our F1 experience so far, who do we think's going to be competitive in this Formula 2? I look at a couple of teams I'm really interested in seeing. Bops and Minico in the VAR machines. And also, based on some of the pace that I've seen from week 1 of season 9 in Formula 1, I'm interested in watching Nicky G and City of R in the Dams car. We've got Kiss Me Axe and Bouncy as well in the Prima. I'm not entirely sure if all the drivers are going to be present this evening. And I did see some guys not checked in. So it'll be interesting to see how many drivers we get. I think we're going to get about 13 or 14. We've got, what, 2, 4, 6, 8. We've got 16 drivers in cars. We do have some reserves that are available to race. So it'll be interesting to see if any of those guys pop in tonight. But yeah, I think the driver lineup for F2 in the inaugural season looks pretty good. Pretty special. We are probably now 5 minutes away from the start of this race. With the one-shot quali, we do have some guys needing some invites. So if you're watching and you're already in the lobby, please make sure you invite from the F2 league chat. Please make sure you're inviting the rest of the drivers as a bare minimum. Please invite your teammates into the race so that we can get ready to rock and roll in about 4 or 5 minutes. The batteries are charged in the controller. The drivers are ready. The beer is cold. We are almost there. Almost ready to rock and roll as we enter a new phase. A new phase of Moose Racing. Hopefully, over the course of the last 2 or 3 seasons, you've seen some great changes here. If you're brand new to Moose Racing, there are some links below the screen that you can follow to take you to our league Discord server. You know, it's been a place that I've called home for probably about the last 5 seasons now. I can't remember. I've enjoyed myself so much, I can't even remember what season I joined. But it's a beautiful place full of beautiful people, and there are some good races to be had. I think last week, the highlight for me last week, the no assists tier was absolutely outrageous. Called beautifully by Pat and by Mage. What an outstanding race that was. We had all kinds of shenanigans taking place during that race. With just close racing from start to finish. I'm looking forward to seeing if we could do the same thing in F2. And less incidents, perhaps, than some of the other tiers that we saw throughout the course of last Sunday, which was the kickoff, the season openers at Qatar in the 6 main tiers and the no assist tier that we run. The ending, Zoika, the ending was incredible. Mark, thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate that. I feel like I look handsome pretty much every hour of the day. Probably most when I'm asleep. Mainly because that's when I'm not talking. But hey, we give it our best shot no matter what time of the day it is. We now do have 13 drivers in. Let's have a quick look at the screen then to see what drivers we've got in. And I'll hopefully have the right layup up. We've had to make a minor change to the F2. Oh, I thought I had the single camera, but never mind. So tier F2, you'll see a blank box next to me over here. No, over here. As a matter of fact, it's not blank because I'm kind of in both. So shall we just adjust that? Yes, there we go. Move my head over there. Preparation is key, everybody. Preparation is key. Right then, let's see who we've got. So in tonight so far, we've got the 13 races. We've got John Does Work in the Carlin, Minico in the Van Amersfoort Racing, the VAR. Prima Racing's Mubatsi with Art Grand Prix JBTC. Voice chat has been suspended, thank you. Bob's then in the other VAR with MP Motorsports Vince from Canada. Virtuosi, it's Homer. I don't know what country that is. I think it's Colombia. We've got the two high-tech Grand Prix cars then, accommodated by Com45 and Nate OG23, the Trident of Snakey. So Trident in, I'm looking forward to watching Snakey drive tonight. So Snakey's come in as a reserve. He's going to be driving the Trident car, the one and only Trident car on track tonight. Carlin Rodin of AK, the Dams of City of R, and Monster Jamers MP Motorsport accompanying Vince in that car. Jake, yes, how you doing? Bouncy, what's good? Good luck to you tonight, Bouncy, in that Prima car. Hope you've been practicing hard, my friend. I think this could be one of the all-time classics from Moose Racing. As it's one-shot quali, I might just take a little moment to get myself a refreshing beverage. It's Ecuador. Dan, I got the colours right. I think. The head's all over the shop. What's going on? Come on. Let's get the head. Let's get the head in the box. There we go. Right. Give me 1 second. So our start time is 8 p.m. Eastern, 1 a.m. UK time. The clock has ticked round. We are moments away from the inaugural race, the inaugural season of Formula 2 here. Columbia is all the same size stripes. Ah, right, okay. Jake is Homer. Ah, okay. Hang on, Homer. Yes, yes, Jake. Homer is indeed. For good or bad reasons to be known soon. I see. Interesting developments in the paddock in the Formula 2. It'll be interesting to see. I think we might be able to see who's put the most practice in. Do we think that somebody's going to streak away into the distance and check out early doors? Or is it going to be a close competitive race? I'll ask again, guys. For those of you who are not driving because you are not therefore biased, who do we think has got the strongest lineup when it comes to the drivers? Born in the US but have Ecuador roots. Ah, okay, Jake. See, every day is a school day, my friend, and today I've learnt something new. I'm pleased about that. I like learning new things. Learning new things is always good. It keeps us all on our toes. Right then. We've got 14 drivers in us. Now we've got another driver in a Trident. It's another showcase name. It's Edge. Edge joining us in the Trident. He's going to be teaming up with Snakey tonight. That's a team to look out for. I think so anyway. Yes, Bops, let's go. Let's get it. Good luck to you tonight as well in that VAR, sir. That Van Amersfoort racing car. As I mentioned earlier on, for those of you that perhaps weren't here I don't have the greatest knowledge when it comes to Formula 2, so I'm looking for the viewers to kind of help me out and help everybody else out who might not be as familiar with F2 as, of course, we are with F1. I've had a little bit of information about who the more dominant teams are. From Zoika, MP, Rodin Carlin, and ART. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it, guys. I'm looking forward to it. Don't forget, if you think that there's somebody here, somebody not here, that should be watching, make sure you go and invite them. It could be your mum, your dad, your brother, your sister, your auntie, your uncle, your grandma, your granddad. Hell, get the cats and dogs in. Get your pets. Make sure they're signed into an account, though. Let's boost those viewer numbers. Let's kick this season off with a bang. Not banging wheels, but certainly an explosive race. Going to be interesting for me, says Bouncy, because I ended up breaking up with my girlfriend an hour ago. Bouncy, do you know what? I'm going to send you huge commiserations, my friend. It's never nice being in a breakup. My advice to you is keep your emotions in check. Enjoy the race. Don't worry too much. This is a nice little break away from feeling like that. But we all send you our love here at Moose Racing. You know we're one great big family. So sending you my love, my friend. Part like the Red Sea, Bouncy for the win. You heard it here first. Absolutely, Bouncy. That's the great attitude to have, my friend. So 14 drivers in the cars. I'll just check into the group to see what's happening. Vamos, vamos. Jay Mawson. Nikki G does need an invite, guys. If we can get Nikki G an invite, that would be wonderful. I'm not too precious about start time. It's late as hell as it is. I don't know whether I've got Nikki G. Okay, I don't want to. I don't want to invite that one just in case, you know. I don't invite that one just in case. Yeah, we're all rooting for you, Bouncy. We are just waiting for a couple of moments, guys, for some other drivers, which is fine. Which is fine. Like we say, we're not under as much time pressure tonight as we would normally be on a Sunday, because, of course, on Sunday, we start with Tier 6, and then we are relentless. Tier 6, Tier 5, Tier 4, Tier 3, Tier 2, Tier 1, and then the one and only no assist tier, which for me is at about 6 a.m. the following morning. But my gosh, it was worth the wait last week. A big shout out, by the way, to our media team who've pulled together what is looking like an outstanding lineup for this season. We've got 14 in. We've not got Nikki G in yet. Jay Mawson's not going to make it this week. So Jay Mawson in the Virtuosi Invicta's not going to make it this week. Nikki G is indeed on his way. Right then, I need to get myself into race mode. Here we go then. Right. Paddock, grey skies. Now, we're missing our usual weatherman. Our usual weatherman in the paddock is Iron Boogs. He's normally a man for the weather. you'll see look at the DHL signs there, right? So you'll see the DHL signs are all out of kilter going down the paddock. So from the top of the hill, there is a hill. It is a downward slope from the top of the paddock down to the bottom at that turn 1. So our drivers will be picking up a certain amount of speed. We are starting early, so I'm assuming, let's get the controller ready to rock and roll. It looks like our guys have been thrown into the mixer. Setups are on, and we're about to start our... let's have a quick look. So we're going to jump on board with Bops. So Bops is in the VAR. He's currently third. John Does Work is first. Two VR cars at the top. So it's Minico and Bops as we stand. Nobody yet has disqualified themselves from the session. Bops in round that windy section then. Let me get the track map up. Ever so sorry. Everybody on the soft tyre. Coming up to the end of Sector 1 then, round the long left-hander. The Sector 1 time that we're looking at is a 37.4. Bops still leading the way with Minico in second, snaking out up into third, challenging Minico for second. It's AK in fourth, City of R fifth, JBTC sixth, Com 7th, Bouncy in 8th, Nate 9th, Monster James 10th, Vince 11th, John Does Work 12th, Homer 13th, Homer 14th now, Edge 13th. So obviously a mistake from Edge. He was a little bit higher up. So Minico and Bops then, the two VAR drivers, challenging at the very top for pole. Let's jump on board with Minico. As he comes round that long left-hander, the slow one that can catch you out. Up the hill. At the end of Sector 2. It's a 1:22.5 at the end of Sector 2. Can he keep it legitimate? He can. Yes, Mr. Camus. I hope you're doing well, sir. Round we go then. Keeps it legal. Still, everybody's kept it legal so far. So it's Minico and Bops then. Minico and Bops coming up to the line. It looks like Minico's going to take pole position with a 1:41.1, which is significantly quicker. In the end, it's AK, Edge, and Homer who've all disqualified themselves with track limits. John Does Work just struggling, but he's now over the line. Let's go. Looks like a great start to the season in that initial one-shot qualifying for the VAR team. So it's Minico on pole position. Almost 3 tenths ahead of his teammate is Bops in P2. It's a VAR lockout on the front row. Row 2 is taken up by the ART Grand Prix car of JBTC. Good recovery from him. He was way down in about 6th or 7th. Snaky then in 4th, joining him on the 2nd row. It's City of R and Com45 on the 3rd row. 7th is Moo Bouncy with 8th, Nate OG. Monster Jamers in 9th with Vince in 10th. The two MP Motorsport cars side by side. The two Carlin cars side by side as well. The two Carlin Roading cars. John Does Work and AK with Edge in the Trident in P13. And bringing up the rear, it's the Invicta Virtuosi of Homer in that one-shot qualification session. Minico says his Sector 1 was terrible. Yeah, I saw you loitering about third or fourth, Minico. Vince's force feedback gave up. John wrecked, actually. So John actually wrecked. I'm not entirely sure that the guys that missed quali can now get in the race either. So maybe we can have a little pause to get them in. I don't know. Just as an interesting little stat for you, whilst we're waiting for the guys to start up. We've been racing here at MRL for just over 3 years now. So our first ever race was the 13th of September 2020, in the height of the pandemic, in the height of lockdown. So in a little over 3 years, we've come a very, very long way here at MRL. Now we have, in Season 9, we've got those 6 main tiers. And I don't like calling the no assists a non-main tier. But of course, it's a mixture of drivers from all different skill sets and all different tiers throughout MRL. And we're going from strength to strength. Like I've said, if you're new here, if you're new, oh, hey up. Five lights are on, ladies and gentlemen, and it's the inaugural Formula 2 showtime here at Japan. Suzuka, it's Miniko with a great start. Teammate of Bob's right behind him. They both get an outstanding start. Are we going to get through? We seem to get through turn 1 intact. Ladies and gentlemen, take note. No yellow flags from turn 1 and turn 2. Great start from the two VAR boys, Miniko and Bops, with Snakey now up into P3. He's up a position. Down 2, it's JBTC. AK making great strides down in the midfield. He's up 4 positions. Nate, a problem for Nate perhaps, is it? It is now. It wasn't, but it is now. And contact. There's contact. It looks to me like whoever it is, wherever he's gone, somebody lost an end plate. It looks like it might be Homer. Yes, Homer's lost his left end plate there. John does work. No damage by the look of it to his car, but down a few positions, Nate as well. So a collision from Nate went sideways, caused some problems further on down the pack, and it's John does work and Nate tumbling to the bottom of the pack. Up 4 now for AK and Edge in that midfield as Miniko and Bops try and stretch out that lead. Bouncy said he was AI for the first sector. Lots of drivers in further back there suffering from this Formula 2 understeer. So 7 tenths separates Miniko and Bops. 7 tenths, 8 tenths now back to Snakey. We're looking to stretch that gap as City of R is almost 1 second back from Snakey himself. We've had a DRS break here, so come in P7. AK hot on his heels. Interesting tyre strategies. I'm assuming that we have to change tyres? Top 3 runners on the medium tyre. Snakey now lost his DRS. So when we get to the end of the second lap, I assume that we are still going to have DRS active. But Snakey now outside DRS. He looks like he's going to be under pressure from City of R and JBTC, closely followed by Bouncy. There's then a gap to come. So those 3 runners on the soft tyres then, City of R, JBTC and Bouncy, looking to make the soft compound tyre work for them in the first phase of this race. We've then got Com, who's stuck in the midfield a little bit with that medium tyre with a 1.6 second gap. He's going to be under pressure from AK, but AK has dropped Edge. Edge now 2 seconds back. Looks to have lost some time. 2 second gap between Edge and AK. 2 seconds then between Vince and Edge. JB certainly now all over that gearbox. And don't forget, these cars are a little bit slower. So that 2 tenths will be a slightly shorter distance between gearbox and front wing. But what a good start it is for the 2 VAR guys. They are checking out, dragging each other along down the track as Com and AK exchange places twice. Are we going to see some racing here down to turn 1? I think we are. It's the High-Tech and the Carlin Rodin. I don't know what colour they are. Come in the white, the blue of AK into sector 1. And a move up the inside from AK. Beautiful manoeuvre. Nice and steady through sector 1, through those twists and turns. And he consolidates P7 away from Com and begins to put a small gap. He's now got to go and try and close that 3 second gap now to Bouncy. Bouncy clinging onto the back of JB. JB very close now. Very close indeed to the back of City of R, who indeed is close to the back of Snakey. Snakey's now 2.2 seconds, 2.3 seconds off the back of Bops. The 2 Van der Zort cars have checked out. Maud, they're doing more laps than F1, says Maud. Something fresh. It is fresh, Maud, I'll tell you that. absolutely fresh. I've not seen any kind of DRS notification yet. I don't know if anybody with a little bit more knowledge than my good self can talk to me about DRS in F2. As Minico now is on the verge of stretching that gap, but we've got Moo Bouncy all over the back of City of of JBTC. Is he going to try and make a move? As they both go wide. JBTC hanging on from Bouncy then as they go down the home straight. Takes a defensive line, does JB. Here comes Bouncy though, hugging into that slipstream. He's going to try and make a move on the inside. The understeer. The understeer is going to cost him though, because there goes with the switcheroo. Bouncy and JB trading places beautifully. Well, good driving from these two, I think. Through Sector 1, that can be very difficult to overtake, certainly when you're in a Formula 1 car. But these F2 cars look like, potentially, because they go a little bit slower, the guys are able to race, perhaps, maybe a little bit cleaner. I don't know. Snaking out 3 seconds off the back of Bops and Minico. But City of R right on his tail. City of R, of course, in that Dams vehicle. Minico Bops going to wreck this tier. It looks that way so far, Tolby, I have to say. DRS activates after 2 laps. Okay, I didn't see any notification. F2 cars, yes, they're also smaller, so of course they can go side by side. Maybe we will see a 4x4. Not a 4x4. 4 cars side by side, perhaps. Now, the action so far here looks like City of R on Snakey. We've also got Moo Bouncy, who's picked up our first track limits penalty. 3 seconds to Bouncy then. But he's right on the tail. Are we going to see the guys make any kind of mistakes coming through there? No, the guys seem to be learning a little bit more now. Let's check in with City of R and Snakey again. AK, just as I've said that, AK picks up 3. Defensive line again from JB. Bouncy's going to follow him. Doesn't look like he's going to get close enough to make a move down into turn 1 this time around, though. I'll tell you who has been making moves. It's Snakey and City of R. City of R is going to get through with that soft compound tyre. He does have tyre advantage. So City of R has made the move. Now he's on the chase. He's got to defend against Snakey at first, of course. But now he's got a 4-second gap to close down to Bops. Bops has dropped out of DRS range from Minico. Minico, 1.4 seconds. He's looking to check out. Bouncy looks like he's lost a little bit of time. Nicky G is in the race. Well done, Nicky. Welcome in, sir. There's Nicky G. Nicky G is driving one of the Dams vehicles also. Teammate of Bouncy. Seven tenths behind Vince. Vince is in the... Vince is in one of the MP Motorsports cars. And by the way, Monster Jamers is not too far. Nicky G, as we were on board or viewing him, he's picked up 3 seconds. He's going to be under huge pressure now as well. He's lost a little bit of momentum there. He's going to be under pressure from Monster James. Are we going to see James make a move down into this turn? No, he's lost a little bit of momentum there after I thought he gained it. Nicky recovered well. The damn sandwich at the moment between 2 slices of MP bread. Chazzy says he has the pace. Talking about Minico. Minico should hold up a little to keep his teammate in DRS. Yeah, for sure. I mean, we know that Bops has got pace. And actually, just as you said that, Bops is back in DRS range. And the gap has extended from 4.1 to 4.7 seconds. Let's check in again with Snakey, well, Bouncy now. Bouncy's under pressure from AK. So AK's managed to close a gap. We've got 3 drivers with penalties at the moment. It's Bouncy, AK, and Nicky G have picked up their first 3-second penalties. Evening, Chazzy. How are you, sir? Hope you're doing very well. Let's keep around this battle for 10th, because these 3 guys down here, Nicky on the medium, little mistake there from Monster James. He's going to drop him a little back. Yeah, he's dropped out of DRS range. He had a little mistake coming into the hairpin there. So he's dropped way back. He lost half a second there. 1 mistake, half a second. That's what it costs you. Bops is within half a second of his teammate Minico now. We'll assume that they're going to hold position. Hold formation. Yeah, absolutely. It really is a fight for P3. So, as we can see there, we've got City of R, Snaky, and JBTC. The gap, it's funny, isn't it? Because that gap back to Bouncy doesn't look that big. But because of the pace of these cars, that's now 2 seconds. Through the bit that reminds me of Silverstone. JB really getting up onto the gearbox. Let's turn the volume up ever so slightly. Hopefully the volume's okay for you guys. If you give me a little bit of feedback on the audio, that would be appreciated. These are quite quiet, these cars, compared to the Formula 1 cars, of course. So Snakey in the Trident. Edge in the other Trident as well. He's dropped off. He's 5 seconds off the back of AK now. Looks like he might be under pressure from Com soon. Vince, 10 seconds almost off the back of Com. So there are some gaps beginning to form. We may well see a little bit of traffic for Minico before we get to the halfway stage of this race. Because in less than 7 laps, Nate is just finishing sector 1 right now. They are very quiet. Yeah, they are. I'll try and turn it up a little bit for us. Let me know how that sounds now, Chazzy. Because part of the thrill of Formula 1 gaming is, of course, hearing the roar of the cars as they plough down the straights. Snaky then, 4 tenths. Can Snaky get close enough? DRS is active. Can Snaky get close enough to City of R to make a move down into turn 1, stroke 2? Doesn't look like he's going to be close enough this time round. Nicky and Vince momentarily swap places. It's now no longer a sandwich, but here we go then. We're going to go 3 wide down the straight, are we? Let's see. Vince, Nicky G and Monster James all the way down the straight, down the hill, down towards turns 1. The tight right-hander. Or the quick right-hander followed by the tight right-hander. And it's Vince who claims P10 back from Nicky G. Nicky G, though, looking to challenge as we go through this twisty-turny section in Sector 1. Good stuff, Chazzy. Thanks for the feedback, brother. Appreciate it. This is the battle right now. We've also got Bouncy challenging AK. And still, we've got that battle for P3, the final step of the podium. As there's contact there between Nicky and Vince. Don't know whose fault that was, but yellow flags flash. Nicky G tumbles all the way back down to P14 as James takes advantage, moves up into P10, and Vince has to consolidate back into P11 now. Let's get back up to the... That's the battle for P10 solved for the time being then. Let's get back up to this fight for the final step on the podium. It's City of R now 5 seconds back from Bops. He's under pressure like not too much before from Snaky. JBTC clinging onto the back of these two as best he possibly can. Here we go then. Taking a defensive line again is City of R. Wide round the outside perhaps, or to get a better angle to go on the inside. Inside he goes. Snaky is making a move on the inside, but is City of R going to be able to cling on round the next turn? He is. Inside becomes outside for Snaky. Loses the position again to City of R. City of R then through the end of Sector 1. We've got the right-hander, then that quick left, which peaks up to the top of the hill, then back down towards a quick right-hander, 90 degree right-hander. Here we are. There's the 90 degree right-hander then, as they swoop round, utilising the curb on this corner as we get towards the hairpin. JBTC closed right back up again through that first sector. Looks like he's perhaps got a little bit more downforce in his setup. Loses time in the quicker parts of the track on the straights. So Minico's moved back out of DRS range from Bops again. The gap now City of R has to face is 6 seconds. But he's not too interested about that gap out in front. He's got to figure out how to stave off the attack from Snakey and JBTC as we head down towards the chicane midway through Sector 3. Wide move there from JB. He's going to lose a little bit of time. Snakey in a much better position to attack now then. On the straight. Down they go. DRS about to be activated. Or not, as the case may be. He's going to look to go on the outside again as a defensive line again from City of R. But it's going to be Snakey who's going to be on the inside this time as we go round to turn 3. Unfortunately, he has to yield on those medium tyres. Wonder how long these tyres are going to last. They're 9 laps on those soft tyres right now. Music bumping in the back, my friend. We do love a little bit of music from the stands. 2 tenths then between Snakey and City of R. This is the battle on track right now then as gaps form elsewhere. John Doeswork is closing in on Homer down towards the back of the field. But these 3 cars battling for our podium, our final podium position. Yellow flags. Yellow flags in Sector 1. Looks like it is Nicky G's gone round again. He's going to be under pressure from Nate. But City of R, Snakey, JBTC fighting their way through Sector 2. This is where you can gain quite a lot of time, utilising as much of the track as you possibly can on entry and exit to the long left-hander. Then, if you can get a good run down towards the end of Sector 2, into Sector 3, down the hill. A dangerous place to overtake. However, it can be done into the chicane. Let's see if Snakey makes a move. No, he's patient. JBTC also patient. Filing in behind. Single file then through the chicane. Down the hill towards the paddock. The paddock, nobody dips into the pit. Snakey much closer now. JBTC trying to cling on to try and make a move. Snakey goes for a move on the outside yet again. Down towards turn 1. Nudges in front. Can he maintain that position out in front? More traction though from City of R. City of R is going to be on the outside and still maintains position. Turn 4 gets through in front. Still challenged by Snakey on the outside. What a battle it is between these 3. JBTC is a little bit of a bystander and we'll hop on board with him right now to see if we can see any kind of moves from Snakey over City of R. Down to the utilising the curb. Can we use the curb here on that 45 degree? Yes, we can. 90 degrees, not 45 degrees. Christ, 45 degrees would be a lot slower. Homer picks up 3 seconds. No move made by Snakey into the hairpin. Who's going to get the best traction out of the hairpin? Looks like Snakey again. Although City of R is maintaining that 2.5 tenth gap. 130R is the name of the corner you keep trying to think of. Oh well. Salivate. Oh! A little bit of mistake from JB. He's going to lose out some time there. That might drop him out of DRS range. So let's jump on board with Snakey then as he fires down in the Trident. Down towards this quick left-hander. Down towards the chicane. Manages to maintain position within the white lines. Down towards the chicane. A quick right. A quick left. Down then we go. Down the straight. Here we go. As close as he was on the final lap. Or the previous lap. DRS wide open, defensive line taken by City of R. We're going to go on the outside again. Can we get the move done before turn 1 this time? If we are Snaky, he's out in front, but can he stick it? Can he stick it? It's looking tight round turn 1, no contact, great driving between the two drivers. But yet again, those soft tyres pay dividends for City of R as he sneaks out in front through turn 4 into turn 5. Great racing from these two guys. The smaller cars, the slower action, paying dividends. We're getting some great racing here. We'll run through the order in a minute, but we've got to stick with these guys right now because they're providing the best racing. 5 seconds speeding in the pit lane from Homer. He will regret that at the end of the race, no doubt. So we got City of R, Snaky, JBTC, and actually AK as Bouncy and Edge look like they're having a little battle now. They're close. They might be 10 seconds off the back of AK. AK closed right up and is now in the mix for this podium. With City of R, Snaky and JB, it's now a 4-way race. This is what we're talking about, right? Let's run through the order real quick before we get back onto the straight and see some overtaking action. So it's the two VARs of Minico and Bops in P1 and 2. City of R, as we've seen, currently standing on the 3rd step of the podium in P3, with Snaky, JBTC and AK all now in contention, as AK is well on the gearbox of JBTC. We've then got an 11-second gap to Edge. Edge on the soft tyre in the second of our Trident cars, followed by Bouncy. Bouncy is in the Prima racing car. He's got, Edge for company in front. As we've seen JB. JB takes P4. Snaky moves up into P3 of City of R and AK both dive into the pits for fresh medium tyres. Matter of fact, yeah, both on fresh medium tyres. They will come out in 8th and 9th. Curious to see what tyre strat does because those guys up front aren't too far ahead. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see the guys that are going to go onto the soft tyre. There doesn't seem a great deal between tyre compounds, Maud, I can't lie. Doesn't seem to be a great difference between the two tyre compounds in terms of pace so far. Maybe that's because, I don't know, Minico and Bops have done more practice this week, who knows? With that 10-second gap now back to Snaky. JB did lose some time. So, I'm not too sure what that incident was. But he did lose quite a few seconds there. You're absolutely spot on, Chazzy. He lost about 5 or 6 seconds. Beautiful, says Zoika. Absolutely, my friend. We've seen some beautiful racing so far. I'm looking forward to seeing when the other cars come in from this... this round of pit stops where Snaky, JB, Bouncy and City of R come out with each other. So only 3 cars pitted so far then. City of R, AK and Homer. Let's have a quick check on the penalty situation. 6 seconds now for Bouncy. That's going to hurt him. It might hurt him, but it's Edge, Bouncy and Com45 in the mix now, battling for P5. On the grass goes Bouncy. He's going to lose a lot of momentum. Might have DRS, but he's going to lose a lot of momentum as JB jumps into the pits for his medium tyres. So Bouncy's lost out. 8 tenths down the road, 1 second down the road. Now Com hasn't been able to stick with Edge either. He's now outside of DRS. A little bit of a twitch there from Com as he comes round turn 1 stroke 2. JB's going to filter out of the pits in P9 as Monster takes position 10 from his teammate Vince. Vince into the pits. John does work, jumps and dives into the pits as well. Yes, JB did pick up 5 penalty seconds as he went into the pits for speeding. Joins Homer on that naughty list. Little bit of action there for Bouncy yet again. He's finding it difficult now on these old soft tyres. He's losing a lot. 3 seconds for JB. Penalties are going to be interesting when it comes to sorting out the podium for sure. Yellow flags in sector 1. Might have just been somebody getting out of the way, actually. Might have been somebody getting out of the way. So we're waiting for this round of pit stops to complete so that we can see where everybody comes out in the wash. Shooting himself in the foot. Absolutely 100% he is. Spurs on top of the league. Good Lord. May the Lord help me in my hour of need. Com45 is going to do it for me right now. He's all over the back of Edge. They're both on particularly old tyres as Edge dives into the pits on those 13-lap-old soft tyres, followed very swiftly by Bouncy. Both of them, I believe, both of them picking up 5-second penalties for speeding in the pit lane. As off the track goes Com45. Let's have a quick look at the penalties then. Edge, yes, Edge picked up 5 seconds. Bouncy's now up to 11, accumulating penalty seconds like he accumulates points. 5 seconds for Monster James. The pit lane is catching people out. I don't know whether the pit line is a little bit closer than it normally is here at Japan, but it's catching people out. It's caught out JBTC, Edge, Bouncy, James, and Homer. 5 of our drivers it's caught out. Huge gaps forming now, but that's because our top 4 guys and Nicky G and Nate haven't yet pitted for their tyres. Everybody, as it currently stands, everybody is on the medium tyre. Not a soul has gone to the hard tyre, says Maud. And I don't think we're going to see people go to the hard tyre either, Maud. I think Minico, Bop, Snakey and Com, and probably Nicky G, might take these medium tyres 2 or 3 more laps. They've seen that people were still relatively competitive on the soft tyre. They weren't losing grip till about lap 12. So maybe that's their thought process. Obviously, having not done F2, I don't know what the game tells you the strategy should be. Where do we have some racing action? That's my theory shot to pieces as Com picks up 5 seconds as well. There's some sloppy stuff happening with these drivers going into the pit lane. That's now 6 of our drivers. As AK picks up the fastest lap of the race on his fresh medium tyres. Com does indeed move onto the soft tyre. AK then 4 tenths behind City of R. So that 27-second gap then between City of R and Snakey, that's what I want to keep my eye on. That 27 second gap. Let's see if City of R on the fresher tyres now is going to minimise that gap. 3 more seconds for Bouncy. That's going to take him up to 14. City of R's got a 26.8 second gap, but he's got AK all over his tail. 3 more seconds, this time for JBTC. And yellow flags, yellow flags. We've got a virtual safety car. It looks like Nate might have gone off track. No, it wasn't Nate. It was not Nate. It was Com. No, it wasn't Com. It was JB. JB doesn't have a front wing. That's what's caused the virtual safety car then. So we're going to see Minico perhaps. Bops is the next driver to be caught out by speeding in the pit lane. It's a virus and it's spreading relentlessly through the field. 30 seconds now the gap under this virtual safety car between City of R and Snakey. Snakey the advantage of pitting under virtual safety car. Let's see what kind of advantage that gives him then as he comes out of the pits. Incredible racing so far. Interesting from a penalty perspective. Look at the penalties racking up. DRS is enabled. We've gone green yet again. Here we go. So we've got 5 cars in a line then. It's looking like Nicky G at the head of this group with the least amount of penalties, by the way. Nicky G, Edge, Com45, Move, Bouncy, and JBTC, all within 4-5 seconds of each other on track. Another wide move there as Snakey and City of R swap positions. So Snakey just about clung on there. That was a very slow pit stop. So pit stops are quite slow. City of R obviously now on the warmer tyre, same compound, a little bit older. So City of R is really going to make these warmed up tyres pay dividends then as we go through into Sector 2. Can the Dams car take advantage of the Trident's fresh cold tyres? At least momentarily, as Nate and Vince both jump JBTC. Where's JB? What's he up to? Is JB gone off track? JB is now coming out of the pits. He's going to filter out of the pits dead last. Dead last for JB. Obviously, he had to get that front wing replaced. Matron. We had a patient coming in for a nose job. And unfortunately, he has still left with the Pinocchio. Can we get him in again next week, please? Can we get him in again next week? Pinocchio has left the paddock. Pinocchio has left the pit lane. Race control, 3 seconds for Nate. Monster James and John Does Work. Obviously, a mistake there from John Does Work has allowed Monster James potentially to take a position. Vince and Nate trade positions. I didn't see them trade positions on track. I just said it on the side. But let's see what City of R can do then. Down the straight, not quite close enough even with DRS to try and make a move down into turn 1. Is that one turn or is that turn 1 and turn 2? That's a question I've got for you. Yeah, Testarossa, that is an absolute shocker. Absolute shocker for JB. He's in mud territory right now. Imagine virtual safety car caused by your car losing its nose and they don't replace it. So, are we all set then? Only Nicky G is yet to pit. So, Nicky G probably needs to come into the pits on this lap, I would suggest, to enable him to get some soft tyres that might pay some dividends, because he is going to drop relatively far back. Nate into the pits as well. Throwing on the soft tyre. He's going to get past... into the pits comes Nicky G as well. Nicky G has not come into the pits. It's our good friend JBTC. He's back in the pits. Is he going to get a fresh nose this time? Do we see a nose on that car, guys? Do we see a nose on that car? These pit stops are slow, brother. I'd like to take a look at the front of the car, please. Yes, we do have a nose cone. Bops dives into the pits. What's Bops in the pits for? Is Bops going to serve his 5? Bops has lost an end plate. So Bops is going to need a new front wing. Going to serve the 5 seconds. Going to need a new front wing. This has thrown the VAR strategy into turmoil. Minico still 10 seconds out in front. He's checked out. He's on his way. But now Bops has got work to do. If he's going to claim a position back on the podium, he's got work to do. He's going to filter out of the pits in about P9. But we know that Nicky G is yet to pit. Jeff, how you doing? 1 and 2, says Chazzy. Bops and JB trying to see who can bottle harder. Absolutely, Chazzy. How did Nicky G make it in? Maybe the error I was getting was unrelated to being late. Jay Mawson. Jacob. Yeah, he made it in the end, brother. I'm sorry to see you didn't get in, pal. Hopefully we'll see you in next week. Okay, so we've got some gaps forming, but we do have a little bit of racing. So, we've got Bouncy in the Prima, and we've got Edge in the Trident. Can we keep it clean? Into the hairpin they go. Who's going to get better traction? I like the traction that Bouncy seemed to get there. Yellow flags in Sector 2. We've got a car. It might be. Who is that? Oh, it's JB. JB just getting out of the way for everybody. Thanks, JB. Appreciate you, bro. Edge and Bouncy then down the back straight. Coming towards the end of Sector 2. We have got a Nicky G round. Nicky G on those incredibly old medium tyres, 18 laps. Looks like they couldn't do the job for 18 laps. Hey, don't worry, Jay. Listen, you had family things to take care of, brother. They always come first. Family first. Even though we're one great big family here, family at home first for sure. Right then, defensive line taken then by Edge. Down the straight. Doesn't look like Bouncy's going to be close enough to make a move down into turns 1 and 2. They do have the car of JB out in front, but JB gets out of the way, does cause the yellow flag. So the view from the rear wing of Edge then, with Bouncy in close contention. This is our fight so far. We do have Homer and Monster James fighting for P11, but this is for the points. A little wiggle there. Holy moly. What was that car? That was Com. Com was ghosted on track. And now Com's got bops for company. Oh, little contact there. And an end plate gone. An end plate gone. That was Bouncy, was it? Was that Bouncy? An end plate for Bouncy gone. Bouncy losing control of the car. So Bouncy's now going to come into the pits. There's big bottle jobs happening left, right and centre here. Bouncy's obviously got 14 seconds. That is causing him big issues. He's losing positions. He loses that to Com 45. He's going to lose out to Bops as well, no doubt. Down this straight, Bops does swing out to make a move. And gets round. Off the track! Off the track goes Bouncy. Gets himself out of the way. Needs to get himself into the pits quickly. Bouncy's DNF'd. Bouncy's DNF'd. Where's Bouncy DNF'd? Bouncy's DNF'd. It is a full safety car, ladies and gentlemen. Nicky G, congratulations. You've managed to not cost yourself 5 seconds. Big kudos to you. And the safety car is going to shake things up. Lap 21 of 30 here at the Suzuka Circuit in Japan. This is Moose Racing League, ladies and gentlemen. It's Friday night. You won't be familiar with us streaming on a Friday night, but this is the inaugural season. The starting point of our Formula 2 League, the inaugural race of the inaugural season, and we are having an absolute banger as it stands. As you can see from the penalties, the safety car now is going to play into the hands of people like City of R, like Vince, like John Does Work, who've managed to keep things clean. So the running order as we go then, lap 21. Into the pits comes Minico. What's he going to do? F2 with no wings is like racing a road car, says Chazzy. Going into the pits, my left hit the wall after correcting the oversteer. Bouncy, no! That's bad luck, man. Exactly, Jeff. Bad luck. Unlucky Bouncy. 5-second penalties. The speeding in the pit lane claims another victim. It's City of R, who's possibly cost himself a podium position by making that mistake. So, currently then, it's Minico in P1, followed by Snakey, City of R, AK, Edge, Com 45. It's Bops in the other VAR with Vince, who, if he can catch up to the back of the pack, has got a good chance of making up some positions and scoring some good points here for the MP Motorsports team. His teammate, Monster James, with 8 seconds. Nicky G with 3 and 10th. We've got John Does Work. John Does Work is in the Carlin Roding car with Nate OG and Homer in Ps 12 and 13. JB now, after having to pit what's probably 3 times. Yeah, JB's had to pit 3 times. He is now sat dead last and from a penalties perspective has 6 seconds. We've seen some of our culprits serve their penalties as Nicky picks up another 3. Vince does indeed jump. Edge, Com45 and Bops in the pits. I'm assuming we might have some fresh tyres on here. Yeah, fresh tyres. So Vince is going to be in a bit of a pickle here. He's got 8 lap-old medium tyres and is flanked on both sides by speedy DBs with the new soft tyres on. There's been so much action in this race so far, I've not even finished my first beer yet. What does that tell you, ladies and gents? It tells you we've decided to make moves into a world where the racing is fun. And of course it's fun in F1 as well. But my word, I've had a lot of fun talking about some of these races tonight. Some of the battles we've seen, certainly between people like Snakey, City of R, JB when he had a full wing and didn't have the Pinocchio going on. So where's Minico on track then behind the safety car? Minico is just about to cross the start-finish line. We've got JB is in that pack as well. Guys, if you can hear me, I think it would be good of us to let JB through if you can hear me. JB's currently sat 4th in that line behind the safety car. So he's behind City of R and Snakey. Guys, if you want to let him through, let him through. Minico will not be happy about this ending. Hey, Kayla, how you doing? I didn't see you. My apologies. Hope you're doing well, my friend. It's been one hell of a race so far. So, Minico, we're now on lap 23. I can only assume that we're not going to see this safety car hang on for too many more laps, because we've got cars almost a lap down. So JB's almost a lap down still. Sorry, JB is a lap down. Beg my pardon. I'm looking at Monster Jamers. So Monster Jamers only just started Sector 3 of the previous lap, and these guys are on Sector 2 now of the current lap, lap 23. Chilling dog, says Minico. I bet you're chilling. So much action you don't want to miss it, even at work. Absolutely, Jeff. We're chilling. Did some client work when I got home from the bakery. Now I'm here. Well, welcome in, Kayla. It's great to have you with us on this Moose Friday. Now, I've heard of Moose Day. Moose Day is normally Sunday, right? Do we have to make ourselves another remote for Moose Friday? Do we have an emphasis on fry? F-R-Y? Cook? Is it fry yay? Is it moose yay? I don't know. I don't know what it is. We can't just keep things normal around here. We have to be a little bit different. You're on pad, Minico. Are you cheating? You got hacks. Minico's been racing with a cut on his finger and he's on pad. Vincey's holding up that pack. Yes, he is. They're eager to get past. It's 15 seconds now. 14 and a half seconds. Come on, Vince. Get your foot down. So let's hope we get at least 5 laps of racing in. I think once we get... so JB's dived into the pits. He's going to throw himself some soft tyres on. Maybe he's going to go for fastest lap, because he is a lap down. He's only on lap... to be fair, I don't even know what lap he's on anymore. I think he's on lap 23 when he comes out of the pits. So I think we might see some action again now. I don't know whether the game is going to let us get these last 4 cars caught up or not. Since Monster James used 12 seconds off the back of Homer. And then we've got that gap between Nate and John Does Work of 15 seconds. Lap 24 of 30. Fighting through the pain, man. Minico, you're a soldier, my brother. You're a soldier. A cut finger, and you're still racing. That's what I love to see. Jazzy says it will be in this lap. Well, we will find out in 1, 2, 3 turns. You can classify that as 3 turns. Some of these turns are so like long, like that. This one, as we sweep round here and get up towards this long left-hander, it almost feels like 2 turns. Now, it does say on the track map that we've got 18 turns, which is one of the higher counts, if I remember rightly, from the circuits that we race on. So maybe this is classified as 2 turns. In fact, I might count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I can only count 16. What do I know? Safety car then. We cross the line. It is. Safety car is going to be in this lap. Monster James has got himself but a few seconds. How are we going to start this race then? Is Minico going to be slowing down? Yes, as we can see. Great camera angle. Love this camera angle. As Minico slows right down then. The safety car is in the pit lane. And away we go then. It's green lights, green flags, and away we go. We've got Snakey 1/10 off the back of Minico then, racing down into turn 1. Which way is he going to go? He's going to try and go around the outside. Closes the door, does Minico though. Good defensive work from him. Maintains position then, out in front. Are we changing any places? Vince, I would imagine, and John does work well, maybe under pressure on those older medium tyres. 6 laps of racing to go. No places exchanged on the restart that I can imagine, as Homer does actually take a place off Nate further down the pack. But Minico stretches a 7/10 lead after the safety car restart. We do have flags. We do have flags. That might have just been from a car. That's a ghosted car there. I think it might just be JB. Just trying to maneuver his way around. I think it is. But now we've got a big fight on our hands for what looks like the second step on the podium. Minico's checked out early on lap 25 of 30. It's Snakey, City of R, and AK all fighting hard. There's now a 2-second gap back to edge as Nicky G takes a position from Vince. Nicky G on the fresher, softer compound. But Vince battling back hard. Vince takes the position back. Down to the chicane. Oh, is that going to be a move from Bops? No, 3 seconds to Bops. 3 seconds to Bops. Didn't see that, to be fair. AK then 2/10. He's pretty close to the back of City of R. Seems to get better traction through turns 1 and 2. Into the S's then. The Suzuka S's. Great defense, Toby. Absolutely it was, for sure. As Bops, actually Bops, something's happened to Bops. Bops is off track. Lost an end plate. There's an incident there. The stewards might be busy this week. As off the track as well goes Nate. Thank goodness for ghosting. That's all I can say. Bops then drops all the way back down to P13. What promised to be a wonderful day for VAR is turning into half a wonderful day then. With Bops now dropping all the way back with only 4.5 laps of racing to go. Nicky G and Vince still battling it out. That looked like a car going off track. It was a car. It was Vince. Vince has gone off track. Rejoins okay. Hasn't got any damage by the look of it. He's escaped. But maybe those medium tyres trying to push him a little bit too hard. Still the fight then is for P2 on the podium. Minico checked out 1.7 seconds down the road. Snakey in P2, 8 tenths ahead of City of R, who's now stretched the lead to over a second from AK. Yellow flags again. Looks like he's Bops in the midst of sector, beginning of sector 2. He's gone off yet again. Back on road he comes though. All 1 second plus gaps in the field, other than Snakey back to City of R. The fight for the podium is real. DRS is enabled yet again. 4 laps of racing left to go. What can City of R do? Let's just check out the penalty situation, guys, because penalties are going to play an important part. At the minute, City of Art will not be on the podium. Miniko has got a breeze of a day. 5-second advantage now as he heads halfway through lap 27 of 30. It's Snaky in P2, looking to maintain. He's got a 2.8 second advantage really over City of Art, who's got 5 seconds of penalties versus his 3. AK looks to take P3 on the podium as Bops does indeed DNF in the pits in the end. Edge not close enough to the back of AK. Does realise that he's got that 3 second of penalties. Looks like Com's going to finish up in P6. John does work also. John does work fighting for P7 right now because of the 6 seconds that Nicky G has. 9 seconds for Homer's going to drop him out of the points towards the back of the field. Bops, exactly. Skill issue, says Tolby. Tolby's been bringing the heat today, by the way. Even in the media chat, you know. Even in the media chat, Tolby's been bringing the heat. I'm going to open another beer, by the way. Because I can. Looks like Edge isn't going to be able to close that gap up to AK. Needs to find himself 2.5 seconds in the last 3 laps. Now, let it be said that mistakes have been pivotal so far in this evening's race, with the penalties being racked up. City of R is clinging onto the back of Snaky though. He's still got an opportunity. It might seem silly saying this when he's got 2 seconds more of penalties, but he's within DRS range. We know that the guy can drive. All it takes is a mistake. They don't drive these cars very often, so all it takes is a mistake from Snaky, and that will give City of Art an opportunity to take P2 on track, but also, of course, to try and stretch as John does work. DNFs at the end of Sector 1. He's come off in the S's. That won't cause a safety car. It's too late in the race for that. John does work. Careers out in P12 off the track and DNFs. Unlucky for you, John. City of R then. So now AK's at risk of losing the gap that he's got. Snaky actually gets out of DRS range just about, does he? Clearly Snaky now focusing very hard on the car behind, not interested in the car in front. He's fighting for P2. City of R does indeed get DRS. Can he close that gap down below a second again? AK's not going to be able to close the gap down to a second. Too far behind. Doesn't have DRS, City of R did. So the gap in theory should extend. Says Bops. And Rip John says Kayla. Absolutely, Rip John. Unlucky, my friend. It's an interesting place that John's gone off here, because John's gone off right here. So he's gone off, careered over the gravel into the wall. Where's the racing we've got then? So we've got the 2 teammates battling out for P9 and 10, with JB's ghosted car, who's a lap down. See, it's funny, isn't it? JB's showing some pace, even though he's unlapping himself from these cars. Go on, JB. Go on, JB. JB finally passes John Does Work's car. But the gaps are all over a second. Well, they were. Let's have a quick look. Let's check in with Homer and Com. So Homer's just taken a position from Com. Now, obviously Homer with 9 seconds of penalties. Com doesn't have to fight too hard if he doesn't want, but I'm pretty sure, knowing the way Com drives, I'm pretty sure he's going to want to take this position on track, as well as just pick it up via penalties. It's the penultimate lap of this 30-lap race. As a matter of fact, Miniko's just started the final lap. So do you know what we're going to do? We're going to give Miniko what he deserves. We're going to jump on board with Miniko and watch him cruise around this final lap. If anything else happens and I miss it, I apologise. But let's be honest. This has been a majestic drive from Miniko. From basically Sector 2 in one-shot qualification onwards. Miniko then, here he comes. So he goes around those two left-handers. Just got to get these two out of the way. Oh, does go a little bit deep into it. Thought he might have picked up a little bit of a time penalty there. But obviously he's been pretty consistent throughout the course of today. Down towards the back end of Sector 2 then. Thanks very much, Toby. Appreciate you, man. Enjoy Forza, buddy. In we go then, into the final chicane, in the VAR. It's going to be Miniko. This goes down as a historic win. It's the first, as he loses an end plate, it's the first Formula 2 Moose Racing League win. It goes to Miniko. It's the first Friday night, first league race we've had on a Friday night, and it's Miniko who wins the Formula 2 Grand Prix here at Suzuka Circuit in Japan. What a drive from him. And as the penalties begin to even themselves out further on down the grid, it's Snakey who goes second. Second place on the podium for him. City of R holds on by an absolute thread from AK to claim the third step on the podium. Beating AK after penalties by 23 thousandths of a second. We've then got Edge in P5. It's Nicky G in P6, Com45 in P7. We've then got Vince finishing in P8, and then the rest of it disappeared before I could read it all out. Barely missed out. What a win from Miniko. Absolutely superb drive from start to finish. Nicky G picks up the game's driver of the day. But what a drive there from Miniko. What a drive from Miniko. Let's get ourselves onto the podium then. So it's Vandersfords something racing. And it's Miniko picking up P1. P2 Snakey. P3 City of R. Barely from AK. What a race, ladies and gentlemen. We did see, obviously, with drivers from different main tiers, we did see some slightly bigger gaps. But I'll tell you what we did see, which gives me lots of glee and lots of joy, is we saw lots of mistakes. And when we get mistakes, that's when it makes it interesting. So, it's Miniko then to win. Snakey in P2. Completed the podium in City of R. We've got AK in P4. Edge P5. In P6, we've got Nicky G in the Prima Racing car. It's a high-tech P7 for Com45. The two MP Motorsport cars back-to-back in P8 and P9 with Vince and Monster Jamers. Virtuosi in P10 with Homer. He picks up the final point of the day. These are all provisional results, of course. We did see cars going off track, so I'm sure there will be things reported into the stewards. But that's your provisional top 10. We've then got Nate OG, JBTC, John Does Work on Bops, Van Amersfoort Racing. There we go. So that is your top 14, sorry, all your 14 drivers. Provisional result. Please feel free to snip this. I think I should probably be doing it. Let's see if we can do that. Capture screenshot. Why can't I move it? I can't move it. There we go. Right, capture another screenshot. I think that worked. We'll soon find out, ladies and gentlemen. Miniko, you were cooking, but of course it is Friday
day. See what I did there? See what I did there? Friday.
Anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. We aren't going to do interviews tonight. I don't have a particularly good connection with Discord. I need me some fries now. Absolutely. 100% Midiko. Go get yourself some fries because it is Friday and you have been cooking. Well done to you. Congratulations to everybody who's taken part in this inaugural Formula 2 League race here at Moose Racing League. We will see you again, no doubt, next Friday. But of course, before we get to the next Formula 2 race, we have a plethora of racing delights and joys for you coming this Sunday, starting at, I believe, approximately 12 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. BST, where we start with Tier 6. We then go Tier 6, Tier 5, Tier 4, Tier 3, Tier 2, Tier 1, and Tier... no assists. Did that work? Did I make that rock? It'll be 6 hours of uninterrupted, 7 hours of uninterrupted racing action brought to you by our wonderful media team. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait for Sundays. Every Sunday is Moose Day, no doubt, but Fridays is now F2 Day. F2 Friday. Let's go. Let's get it. See you all on Sunday. Take care. Tune in then, by the way. And if you're new to this channel, make sure you hit the follow button or subscribe button even. We've got a Discord link down there as well. Please feel free to go and hit that. I'm Andy Owen. Rage Quit. I'll see you Sunday. Take care. Much love.